Do you even remember what the issue is? You just trying to find where the tissue is. You can still be who you wish you is. It ain't happened yet, and that's what intuition is. When you hop back in the car, drive back to the crib, run back to their arms. The smoke screams, the choke scene screams. You ever wonder what it all really means? Oh! This documentary was really good. Part 1 anyway. It's really low-key got me feeling like there was never any old Kanye. Kanye has always been just Kanye. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Jeen-Yuhs. Now this is part 1 of the Kanye Trilogy and it's available on Netflix. Now before I get into why you guys should watch this and how I feel after watching it myself, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things. And I'm back on my grind. A psychic read my lifeline, told me in my lifetime my name would help light up the Chicago skyline, and that's why I'm 7 o'clock, that's prime time. Heaven to watch, God calling from the hotlines. Why he keep giving me hotlines? I'm a star, how could I not shine?
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this doc. Now, I had to open this video with I Wonder off of Kanye's graduation album. That just happens to be my favorite Kanye album because we begin here with this first part and we just have a young Kanye striving for his dreams to come true. And it's really impressive to see just how much he was recorded throughout the years, especially early on in his career, courtesy of the person who's creating this documentary, Mr. Coodie. Now, Coodie here is not only a close friend of Kanye at the time, but he's also an inspiring comedian who decided to flip and start to document certain events in hip-hop, and also use outlets like Channel Zero to shine a special light on Chicago artists that were really underrated at the time, which pulled him even closer to an up-and-coming producer slash I'm gonna be a rapper, Kanye West. Now, I absolutely love the early stages of this documentary because we get to see young, humble, producing 1998, skinny, standing next to Mace Kanye. We really tend to forget just how long Kanye has been around. He has been outside and in the rap game for a very long time. And he's been able to reinvent himself so much and keep introducing himself to a different generation that there is a whole separate generation of young folks at this point who don't know anything about Kanye the producer, and they solely know the Kanye now and Kanye as a rapper. They don't know about the humble Kanye trying to get on, selling his beats for the cheap, but him never really being content with being a producer, and he solely really had ambitions to be a rapper. I didn't know that myself. I always thought, that was just something, you hear about really great producers and they just kind of fall into it, and it's just like, yeah, why not? I produce such great beats. Why wouldn't I try to be a rapper? Or you see fellow artists pressuring them like, man, I like the way you spit that verse. I like that. You're bigger than a producer. You should try, your hand in the rap game. It's absolutely the opposite here. Kanye really had true ambitions to be a rapper to begin with. Now, there is an abundance of old footage to carry us through this documentary, and it is like really amazing. I was just looking like, damn, he literally followed him everywhere. But when you get into it and you realize that, this isn't just Coodie's ambition to follow him around, though it is because he's on this verge of shining the light on Chicago hip hop, it's more so Kanye like, okay, yeah, Cootie sees something in him, but Kanye is so much of Kanye at this moment. It's like, yeah, follow me around, get this dance, document this whole thing, because I know for sure that I'm going to be amazing and this footage is going to mean something. There is so many situations here when you realize that Kanye has always been Kanye. And it had me thinking about how us fans always refer to missing the old Kanye. And watching this really made me feel like there was never any real old Kanye to miss. Now, of course, I think when we reference old Kanye, it's always tied to the music. Of course, we miss the old Kanye. We love that music. But he has reinvented himself and attached himself to, different genres, different sets of music. Every single Kanye album is a different album, a different vibe, a different tempo. Everything he changes, his aura is completely different. So of course we're gonna miss that. That's how we met him. But even though the music and the albums have changed, Kanye, for the most part, you can really see it budding here, that cockiness, that reassurance. It's really, low-key here because he is not quite where he is now. But it's just like that kind of, whatever that saying is when, when people get money, you see their true selves. Like, this was always low-key him. He was always that cocky ass, self-assured, I'm the shit ass dude. Now, even though from the very beginning he's being really cocky and really driven, we are made to understand in the beginning of his career it was all solely motivation for the greatness he knew that he could achieve when nobody else was checking for him. And it's really nice to see Kanye here before the antics, before the Kim K, before the mega hat, before the name changes, the mental illness. He's not Yeezus here, he's not Yee, he is just Kanye. Now, for this portion of the documentary, we are simply trying to get past Kanye the producer and become Kanye the rapper. He is trying to be put on. And this is what you really find yourself enjoying about the documentary. You just see him and he is so humble at some points. He's still Kanye, but because he's not the Kanye at that moment that we know, and he's not put on at this moment, he is such a humble person. And we see this all through this old footage, not just through Kanye and not just through Cootie, but we have lots of old footage of other rappers, and I mean rap greats like Jay-Z. We have poets here, Dame Dash, producers, singers, Talib Kweli. Child, when I saw Mos Def, I almost fainted. Mos Def is one of my favorite rappers. I was like, oh! And she came with the same type of girl, giving out the fake cell phone and name. Big fame. She like cats with big chains. I was geeked. I was geeked. And I was also geeked at that point because all these people in his current circle, even though they were supporting him, they just were supporting him as a producer. Can I get a beat? Can I hear a beat? I don't want to hear you rhyme on anything. I would love to hear your beats though. But out of everybody, Talib Kweli and Mos Def was there for the support. I said 1, 2, 3. Mos Def and Talib Kweli. It was giving. I was excited. I was like, hey brothers. Now that Kanye has made real strides as that producer, his name is hot in the streets. People are clamoring for him, clamoring for his beats. But at that time, it's like, it all looks real good and cute, but it's grimy as fuck out here. I'm struggling. I'm living from beat to beat. I am still trying to get on as a rapper. Could I sell every beat and just, yeah, I probably could, but I low-key want to keep some of these beats for myself because I am going to be put on. And when we get into that Southside, we gon' set this party off right. I'm telling you that when it all falls down. Man, I spent $400 on this just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on this. And for that paper, look how low we'll stoop. Even if you in the Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe. Oh! Now at that point is when we start to get into Kanye telling us why he just feels like, and we can tell just from the energy that he's getting and the pushback, I'm not the kind of rapper that people want to put on at this moment. I'm not, rapping about no drugs. I'm not rapping about killing nobody. I'm not rapping about anything that's outside of myself. That's not who I am. That's not my personality. But I'm still a genius at the same time. I have a certain perspective that's just not being spoken on in hip hop at this moment. And if you give me an opportunity and you listen to my shit, you'll see and hear what I hear. I am fucking dope. When we get into the desperation being real, like, no, we just gonna bum rush the whole Rockefeller spot. We about to bum rush the whole office, and I'm just gonna play when it all falls down, and people are just gonna, perk up like, damn, that slaps. And you see like nobody budges. He is so passionate and so excited about his music, and we know what it is now, so we like, yeah, we know how hard that hit. But just to see people just flat out ignore him if it wasn't about producing, it was like, damn, I really didn't know that he had it that hard coming up. And you just can't help but think that, back from when he initially started and he wanted to be put on, just think about how much music we could have possibly gotten if he had gotten an opportunity when he was trying to. Damn, we could have had like at least 2 other albums. Kanye was a complete underdog. Now we do have people like Dame Dash dangling that carrot in front of his face of, the aspects of him might being signed. Just dry. Yeah, he's dope as fuck. Good, nice Christian man. We might sign him, put him on, like, and he's just really waiting around for that moment, like, damn, Rockefeller's gonna recognize me. I really want to be signed to The Rock. He has a lot of respect at that moment for Jay-Z and Dame Dash and what they created, and just Jay being the GOAT. Like, this is the dynasty that I want to be a part of. But nobody is beating down his door to sign him. And any aspects of anyone who wanted to sign him, the people who were really in charge, the overseers, overheads, just like had to give him the okay, they were not buying Kanye as a rapper. And it is crazy because you just know how great he is, and he has that perfect mixture of being that everyday rapper but also conscious. His voice is really distinctive. He has that amazing flow, all that good wordplay. Kanye is a unique rapper, and nobody recognized that shit at the time. And it's like, I'm good enough to create the beats for the DMX and the Jay-Z's, but I'm not good enough to stand next to them. That shit with DMX trying to get a beat, and it's just like, yeah, he just wants me to play him for him, and he don't want to pay no money. Like, no, do not, like, people was out here trying to play him. Like, do not try to play me or treat me less than because, I'm not that typical grimy, rah-rah ass rapper. I have something to say and I'm special too. But just because you don't recognize that doesn't mean I'm going to let you play me and keep selling my beats for cheap or just giving you a beat for free. It's a very humble Kanye, but a right now Kanye at the same time, because you see how driven he is about his passion, but you see how tough he is. Like, at that point, even early on, nobody could tell him anything. Nobody could tell him anything about where to go, what to do, and who he is as a person, as a rapper, and as a producer. I don't give a damn what anybody has to say. He has a vision clear, like day one, for everything that he wants in his life. He's talking about, his name and lights, him, future performances, him picking up Grammys. He is saying this shit flat out from day one. And it comes along with a certain sadness, and you cheer because you're like, yes, Kanye, yes. All that shit you saw for yourself, you're going to get it for yourself. You're going to be that. You were driven, cocky, and ambitious enough to get it. It's all at your feet. But then it's like, yes, Kanye, everything that you're speaking of here, you got it. And when you got it and where you are now, like, are you truly happy? Like, everything that he thought was going to make him happy it doesn't really seem to make him happy now. And for what I can say about this doc, he looks so happy here. He looks so content and so happy just being grimy and trying to pull himself up and make it. He looks so happy. And that smile, and that's when we get back into that old Kanye. It's not always about the energy, the music, the beats, all of that stuff. Sometimes it's just about that smile, because we know all too well, old Kanye smiled so much. He was so happy. You could not see Kanye and see all his teeth, and you don't see them anymore. So after we leave that, I got 2 words: fuck you, pay me, freestyle exchange between him and Mos Def. I was like, oh, hip hop. We get into Kanye trying to use MTV and other outlets for people to see him as something other than a producer, and him being really happy at the aspect to get on MTV's You Hear It First, and Talib Kweli and Mos Def giving him a little shine on stage. You know, stuff is looking good. I might be able to get signed, but the raucous record label does not believe in him enough to sign him, and it's yet another missed opportunity. But he is still popping and thriving as a producer, and this is when we got that first, like, well, I know myself, that first real hint of Kanye. I was like, yeah, that was very Kanye. When we have him, you know, really getting his name out there so much as a producer, and him riding this entire documentary, as if we didn't know already, but Kanye rides really hard for his city and loves himself Chicago. He reps it every freaking 5 minutes. But there's a little hate coming from a fellow producer who didn't make it to the heights of a Kanye, and he's talking shit on the radio, and Kanye's like, damn, I'm just trying to get put on. I haven't changed since I came to New York. Like, you even helped me out as a producer. Like, why, bruh? When we have Kanye go back to that same radio station to kind of go like, yeah, I'm going to speak my piece. This nigga said that. Now I need to say this. You see how sensitive he is in that moment. And it's very, you know, understandable at that moment. Like, we came up, we're, you know, in the same circle, the same gang. Like, why would you go on that station and do me like that? I'm on always rep for my city. I haven't changed. I'm always going to be Chicago. But the fact that he just couldn't accept as is, it's like, no, I need to be heard. I need to go to the same radio station and say my fucking piece. That was very, very Kanye. Of course, it's not super extravagant like now, but everything here, any representation of Kanye as a person, if it's amplified to about a 10, it's Kanye current day. Now, towards the end of part 1, we do get our first appearance from Donda, Kanye's mother, and it is a whole vibe. You get into their bond right away, and she is so inviting. She's warm, she's supportive, she recites his rhymes, she believes in him like nobody else. She is clearly the driving force that's been behind him this entire time, his whole life. And he loves her so much. There's this light in his eyes. He completely lights up his whole doubt, but especially when he's in the presence of his mother. But I nearly fell out of my seat when we have her say, you know, it's okay to be that braggadocious, prideful, introverted, loud, over the top ass Kanye. It's okay to be that. I want him to be that. I raised him to feel like he can be whatever he wanted to be. But you always have to keep your feet planted at the same time. You need to be able to have a balance and do those two things at once. And of course, that reverts back to, you know, Kanye hasn't been the same since his mother passed away. That's when the switch up happened. That's when, you know, the vow was broken. And it's just like, damn, she knows her son. She knows her son inside and out. So she gets all the bravado, the cockiness, the, you know, I'm Kanye. She knows that that's there, but she's making it a point to tell him, it's okay for you to be those things, but I need you to remember to humble yourself. Damn, Donda. Now we get into him trying to produce Jesus Walks. Like, it's a trip to see how early those singles were in formation. Like, Kanye has always been Kanye. He was always a dope MC, always a dope producer. He's even getting that cosign from Scarface, and we have Rhyme Fest on those. Like, Jesus Walk could have sounded like a completely different song if it was released at that time. But we also get into him finally having that moment with MTV's You Hear It First, and it's like, this is my chance. This is my only opportunity to get some shine and let people know what's coming. And what's coming at you is Kanye, the rapper, and not Kanye, the producer. And when he talks and gives his little speech and his intro, I was like, damn, this is Kanye right now. When he says, you know, I'm gonna be different, I feel like I'm gonna change rap. Rap right now is, you know, all about a persona, being a certain kind of way, trying to prove who you are and what you have. That's why there's this need to, you know, be shiny and have all these jewels. Like, you have to prove yourself not only as, you know, a valid MC, but a valid Black person, you need to prove what you have. My music is going to be different. It's going to change that. It's going to, you know, show that these things are necessary. We get that very conflicted as Kanye, because on one hand, we have him saying that, like, it's going to be different. I'm going to bring a different energy. I'm going to change shit, which he did. But we know in the process of him changing shit, you know, I went to Jacob an hour after I got my advance. I just wanted to shine. Jay favorite line, dog in due time. Like, he was still speaking of things that he wanted to happen in his career, which we see Kanye came along and changed everything, but he still engulfed himself in that braggadocious, attention-seeking, look at me behavior. And we also have a few moments in the doc where he is preoccupied with his name, whether it's, you know, the correct spelling or why didn't they put the West on. I'm looking forward to having the West off. Things that he is doing currently, like he is all, how many names has he been at this point? And him, you know, grabbing Grammys and I'm gonna be #1. That's all very present here, all the way early on in his career. Now, we end off this documentary with Kanye being absolutely ecstatic, almost brought to tears, because he is finally signed. We have Dame Dash finally call him up, tell him he's going to be signed. We see him shed tears as he signs his contract. This is his dream come true. All he ever wanted was to be signed, and he wanted to be signed by Rockefeller, and he got both. We even have a moment with Donda where we go back to his childhood home, and we just see more time being spent with them and them reminiscing on old times and looking forward to the future. It's really great to see just how much she rides for her son and how much she supported him. She always saw his vision from the very beginning. We are, you know, made to be known in this documentary that, even just period, I think it's just public knowledge now that Kanye was producing as a goddamn infant. This was always his dream. He was always engulfed in music and wanting to be a rapper, and his dream has finally come true, and they know that they have grown so much beyond the little local talent shows in the small home. We are bigger than ever. I'm finally getting what I wanted. And we even have a moment where Cootie, I feel like things are going to circle back to their friendship, because we do have a statement being made in the beginning that we were this to each other then, but now, or as he got bigger, I felt like we grew further and further apart. So I feel like we're going to get more into that, but we are made to be known that he always low-key via his family had aspirations to, you know, document things, always had a camera in his hand. And this is always what he was supposed to become. So it's kind of like him and Kanye are hitting strides in their career at the same time. And we also have Detour and him being introduced to the audience. You know, that whole situation where they put the Rockefeller chain on him and they're informing everybody that he has been signed, and everybody's looking forward to that album. He's dropping a verse. Things are looking up. Everybody's happy. Kanye's happy. And we look forward to the aspects of what happened after that, the accident, and, you know, his process through that. Even that was documented. Like, everything is here. Like, every fucking thing was filmed. I love that little portion that he put in with Kanye buying Black Tail magazine. He's like, yeah, I got a little addiction buying little black girl porn. I'm like, yeah, you don't want that no more. But I feel like we have a lot coming to us in the second parts of this documentary, and I can't wait to see them. Well, you guys, that was my review for Jeen-Yuhs. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please drop down and tell me what you thought about my review and what you think about this documentary so far. I look forward to reading you guys' comments. I see you guys for my next video. Bye.